Okay, now I got to go to the secret location and find the tongue, put it back on here. And I need to also redo the wire for the battery that connects to this device right here. This thing here is the wire that is supposed to pull, and that shouldn't be wrapped like that. This is the wire that's supposed to pull to attach the brakes, and it hit the ground somewhere along the way and somehow it got busted, so I need to fix that too. So that's on my list of things to do too. I'll just leave this hanging over here for the moment to remind me. I got the other end of it around there somewhere, and I might be able to concoct up a way to reattach that. So I'll go to the secret location and get my tongue. La 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 la. Get my tongue and put it back on there. And one more thing I'm probably going to want to do before I leave is either charge or replace the battery that's in here, because that's what works those electric brakes. That's supposed to be a system that auto locks the brakes, and it's also supposed to charge when your unit is hooked to the trailer lights. I don't know if it's necessary to change that. It probably should be charged. What I may try to do is maybe I can get to the wires and put a slow trickle charge on it until, well, for a day or two. And while I'm at it, I can do a little research and see where I could get another battery. Last time I replaced that battery, I couldn't find one that was exactly right. I got one that was about, oh no, ½ inch bigger, and the lid didn't quite close as well as I hoped it would. But we'll see what we can turn up in research. Oh, the joy! I'll go ahead and pop this the top of this battery box open. We'll take a look at that together. That way you can see what works those brakes and what's down in there. There's a little battery setup right there. I put a piece of Gorilla Tape on that a long time ago. So you see what a tiny battery that is. That's the positive side and the negative side. I've got a little small charger in here. Wouldn't cost me anything to hook the charger up to that. And see, you know, you do everything you can to try to create a safe environment, and then something goes wrong, at least you don't wind up blaming yourself for it and saying, well, I should have done this thing or I should have done that thing. This one has a chargeable doohickey. I don't know what I mean by that. I know what I mean, but I don't know how to say it, but there's a light in there that tells you what's going on with that. So I believe I can reach over into here, take this off this battery, for the boat and take it out there and plug it into a longish drop cord. And you see now it's hooked to nothing. And I'm going to unplug it so that light should go out. But once we plug it into that, I don't expect there's any life left in that, but sometimes there is. And on some of these battery chargers it will light up if there's any life in it. But it will also make a light to let you know whether or not it's charging. So let's set this here. And I'll put this on the positive side. As I sometimes do, I pull it back, so these things happen sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't hurt to wiggle these wires around a little on something that's been sitting for a long time. And then we put the positive here, the negative here. And put that's touching the battery terminal and not just the wire to it. And then we'll string this wire out in this direction here, and I'll go get a long wire. I've actually got I ran a long wire over here in place of a short wire the other day because I wanted to wire the piece of heat tape on the water that goes to the RV, and I've got it set on a it's actually made so that it only kicks on when it gets below a certain temperature. And I didn't need a wire this long, but it was one thing I could put my hands on really quick the other night, so I used it. I believe the short one got in the hand. Yeah. Let's see. Well, I'm going to take that long one and run it out to the trailer. Yeah, that's good. And I can see I got fire in that because it's lit up. We'll run this long wire out here into the garage and out to the trailer. Plug it in and see what happens. As you may recall, I could actually use I got another short wire handy by. You may recall I wired a plug here. I would reach out there. Not quite that far. So, may not really need this much wire, but it'll do. It'll do. Now, that's doing something. I don't know what. My buddy Mad Dog would know how to read this thing. There's a little bit of green light there, right in there. So it may be that over time that green light will come on full, and I'll know that that's taking a charge. So we'll walk away from that. I have other things I want to do today. One of them's, I don't know if I'd call it fun, but it's going to be interesting.